John.
Hello, Peter. So nice to see you.
It's wonderful to see you, John. Can I just say, you are an inspiration to students and staff here at GBS. Thank you for being here today.
Happy to be here as well. Thank you
so much. So, you've got a very interesting background. Let's start with your career part. What has led you to higher education?
I mean, I started off by getting a law at Lincoln College, Oxford.
Okay.
I then went into the city, the financial centre, to learn about investment banking, wealth management, and corporate finance. And that really was my career for 2 or 3 decades. What it did, it led me to travel a lot, which is one of the things I've always enjoyed doing because I'm quite a curious individual. Also open up offices, representative offices for the particular bank that I was working with at that time, Swiss Bank Corporation. So Switzerland, Japan, and then in the United Arab Emirates as well. I have that sort of background as an employee in a bank, but also, I suppose about halfway through my career, I branched out with 2 colleagues from Swiss Bank we established our own boutique merchant bank. So we started off as 3 of us. About 8 years later, we sold the business with about 140 employees and 10 partners. And then I established a company for a family office in Abu Dhabi, 5 of us, with a small office here in London, and obviously one in Abu Dhabi. Develop business interests that foreigners had to come in and ride the UAE economic growth wave at the time. So that also involved looking into different industries, which is what my investment banking background helped me with as well. So most of these were not unfamiliar territory because in the sort of finance world, there are a lot of presentations, Swiss bankers or international financial institutional investors. And I was asked about 6 years ago, actually it was in Budapest in Hungary, if I could meet up with the principal of one of the oldest universities in Budapest, Corvinus University. So I met with him and he said, I see your sort of markets, the markets that you've been engaged with are emerging countries. We would like to be the first university to provide a course for Erasmus exchange students on doing business in emerging markets. So would you like to come and talk to some of our students? And I said, yeah, sure, thinking it would be an hour or an hour and a half. And this was in a May, and they were going to come in September. And about a month later, I got a call from HR, Corvinus University, who said, can you send us your module? So I was really completely shocked because I'd never done this before. I have to say, I had to write a module on how to do. It was a broad module on doing business in emerging markets. And then when September arrived, as I got the famous number 2 tram in Budapest, I nearly didn't go into the university. So it was the first time I'd stepped out of my regular comfort zone. And I think this is really what, lecturing or teaching is all about, to try and get.
What are you currently teaching, and describe your teaching philosophy?
On behalf of Oxford Brookes University, global business and entrepreneurship. First language is not English, and they're what we refer to as mature students. So there are 6 modules in the foundation year. My teaching philosophy, along with what I've had to do professionally as well, is to try to hold people's attention. Engagement, I think, is really important.
What do you believe is the most important role of a lecturer in a student's journey?
I think that's a very important question. So I think one really important one is reliability and consistency. Okay, this is important. In order to be able to draw a thread, if you like, to thread together different modules. I think this is really important. So every so often, just randomly during a lecture, reverting back to something that was being taught in previous modules, because otherwise it can be quite disjointed. So I think this is really key.
So what strategies do you use to ensure that students, regardless of their background, feel included and supported in a classroom or in your classroom?
So getting to know the student in trying, hopefully in a in a transparent way, obviously, to engender some trust in you as a lecturer who has some knowledge, and obviously helpfully as well with experience, and as a human being as well, because I have a number of, I suppose we all lecturers, we have students who sometimes need a shoulder to rest their head on, And
I'm going to go into that.
I understand there is a thin line between this as well. So one has to keep one's eyes, oneself alert. But I think that is an important component.
Moving on, what are some of the biggest challenges you have faced as a lecturer, and how have you overcome them?
I think time management is really key for not only, this is what I try and convey to our students as well, and being prepared, obviously.
And being prepared. I'm with you on that, being prepared. So what do you find most rewarding about your work with our students?
Knowing that we have instilled a sense of value in them, their own value, and to see and to feel a good chemistry in the classroom as well.
What future innovation do you see playing a significant role?
It has to be technology development, and in that obviously is artificial intelligence. So I have sort of personal experience with this in a business that I founded about 3 years ago, and I know that this is in part, a very important way forward, which will allow for consistent teaching as well.
When you're not teaching, or maybe when you're not conducting research, what hobbies or activities do you enjoy, John?
I suppose the usual, obviously, spending time with family, reading, classical music, blues music.
Blues, I love the blues.
You like blues, the blues. All those great oldies, B.B. King.
Oh, yes.
Traveling, I really, when I get the chance, because I've traveled a lot. So my surname is McGaw, son of Gaw. Gaw means the traveller.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and also makes life a lot easier when you're engaging and create inclusivity, I think, as well, with particularly at GBS, where we have students from all different nationalities.
John, tell us, describe yourself in 3 words.
I suppose conscientious.
Wow.
Reliable. And humorous, for sure.
That is powerful. John, thank you for being here today.
Well, thank you for inviting me here, Peter.